What if you woke up tomorrow and work was optional? Not retired in the traditional sense, not old, not done with life, just free. Free to work if you want to, on things you choose, at a pace you set, without anyone else owning your time. That is the promise of financial independence, and it is not a fantasy reserved for lottery winners or tech billionaires. It is a mathematical target, a specific number, and that number is different depending on how old you are right now. Today, we are breaking down exactly how much money you need to never work again by age, what the number looks like at 25, at 35, at 45, and at 55, where that money needs to be invested, how the 4% rule works in practice, and what you need to do starting today to make the number achievable regardless of where you are right now. The rule that makes the number possible. Before we get to the numbers by age, we need to understand the mathematical foundation that makes financial independence calculable. That foundation is the 4% rule, one of the most researched and most important principles in personal finance. The 4% rule comes from a landmark study called the Trinity Study, which analyzed historical market data across decades of returns, inflation, and economic conditions. The conclusion was straightforward. If you withdraw 4% of your total investment portfolio per year, your portfolio has a very high probability of lasting 30 years or more without being depleted, because the long-term average annual return of a diversified investment portfolio exceeds 4% in most historical scenarios, meaning the portfolio continues growing even as you withdraw from it. This gives us a simple formula for calculating your financial independence number. Take your annual living expenses and multiply them by 25. The result is the portfolio size you need to sustain those expenses indefinitely at a 4% withdrawal rate. If you spend $40,000 per year, you need $1 million. If you spend $60,000 per year, you need $1.5 million. If you spend $80,000 per year, you need $2 million. The formula works in reverse, too. If you want to know how much income a given portfolio generates, you divide the portfolio by 25, or multiply it by 4%. A $500,000 portfolio generates $20,000 per year. A $1 million portfolio generates $40,000 per year. A $2 million portfolio generates $80,000 per year. These are the numbers that determine when work becomes optional, not your age, not your employer, not a government pension timetable. Your portfolio. The number at age 25. If you are 25 years old right now, you have the single most powerful financial asset available to any human being: time. And time in the context of compound growth is not just helpful. It is transformative to a degree that genuinely defies intuition until you see the numbers. At 25, your financial independence target depends entirely on the lifestyle you want to fund. For the purposes of this calculation, we will use 3 lifestyle tiers: a modest lifestyle requiring $30,000 per year, a comfortable lifestyle requiring $50,000 per year, and an affluent lifestyle requiring $80,000 per year. At a modest lifestyle requiring $30,000 per year, your financial independence number is $750,000. Investing $500 per month from age 25 at an average annual return of 8% gets you to $1,750,000 by age 55, more than doubling your target and giving you the option to stop working 10 years earlier than most people even begin to think about retirement. At a comfortable lifestyle requiring $50,000 per year, your number is $1,250,000. The same $500 per month reaches $1,750,000 by age 55, still comfortably above the target. If you can invest $700 per month from age 25, you reach $1,250,000 by age 50. You are financially independent at 50 with a quarter century of optional living ahead of you. At an affluent lifestyle requiring $80,000 per year, your number is $2 million. Investing $1,000 per month from age 25 gets you to $2,350,000 by age 55. Financial independence before your mid-50s from $1,000 per month is the mathematical reality that compound growth makes possible when time is abundant. The most important insight for a 25-year-old is not the specific number. It is that at 25, the monthly contribution required to achieve financial independence is lower than at any other age, and it gets progressively more expensive with every year of delay. The person who starts at 25 and contributes $500 per month will accumulate more than the person who starts at 35 and contributes $1,000 per month. Time is the multiplier that money alone cannot replace. The number at age 35. At 35, the picture changes meaningfully. You have 20 to 30 years of working life ahead of you rather than 30 to 40. The compound growth period is shorter. The monthly contribution required to reach the same target is significantly higher. But 35 is still an exceptionally powerful age to begin, and the numbers remain very achievable for someone who takes them seriously. At a modest lifestyle requiring $30,000 per year, your number is still $750,000. Investing $800 per month for 35 at 8% annual return gets you to $768,000 by age 60. Right at the target. If you can stretch to $1,000 per month, you reach $960,000. Comfortably past the line with room to spare. At a comfortable lifestyle requiring $50,000 per year, your number is $1,250,000. Investing $1,300 per month from age 35 gets you to $1,250,000 by age 60. That is a meaningful monthly commitment, but it is achievable for someone in their mid-30s with a reasonable income and genuine financial discipline. At an affluent lifestyle requiring $80,000 per year, your number is $2 million. Reaching $2 million from age 35 requires approximately $2,100 per month invested consistently at 8% annual return over 25 years. For many people at 35, that is a stretch, but it is not impossible, and it becomes significantly more achievable as income grows through the career years ahead. The critical lesson at 35 is that the financial independence target has not changed, but the price of reaching it has roughly doubled compared to starting at 25. The decade between 25 and 35 that was spent not investing did not cost 1 decade of contributions. It cost the compound growth on those contributions for the next 20 to 30 years. That is the real price of waiting. The number at age 45. At 45, the conversation shifts from ideal planning to pragmatic reality. Most people at 45 have a mixture of savings already built, some more than others, and a working life of perhaps 15 to 20 years remaining before a conventional retirement age. The question at 45 is not just how much you need, but how much you already have, and how aggressively the gap can be closed. If you have accumulated $200,000 by age 45 and continue investing $1,500 per month at 8% annual return, your portfolio reaches approximately $1.4 million by age 65, enough to sustain a $56,000 per year lifestyle indefinitely. Financial independence by conventional retirement age is achievable from a $200,000 base with consistent monthly investing. If you have accumulated $500,000 by age 45 and invest $1,000 per month, the same 8% return produces approximately $2.4 million by age 65. That supports a $96,000 per year lifestyle, significantly above the comfortable tier, from a starting point that many 45-year-olds have already reached or are close to reaching. The important insight at 45 is that the existing portfolio base matters enormously. Every $100,000 already accumulated is working for you. Compounding at 8% annually, it doubles to $200,000 in approximately 9 years without a single additional contribution. The wealth you have already built is not static. It is actively compounding toward your financial independence number, whether you are paying attention to it or not. For a 45-year-old who feels behind, the most powerful moves are twofold. Maximize contributions now because the remaining compound growth window is shorter, and each additional dollar contributed matters more than it did at 25 or 35. And reduce your financial independence number by reducing your planned retirement lifestyle expenses. because every $10,000 reduction in annual spending reduces your required portfolio by $250,000. The number at age 55. At 55, the financial independence conversation becomes most urgent and most personal. With perhaps 10 years of conventional working life remaining, the gap between current reality and financial independence target is either close to closing or requires serious attention right now. If you have accumulated $400,000 by age 55 and invest $2,000 per month for 10 years at 8%, your portfolio reaches approximately $1,250,000 by age 65, enough to sustain $50,000 per year indefinitely. A comfortable retirement from a position that many 55-year-olds genuinely occupy right now. If you have accumulated $800,000 by age 55 with $1,500 per month contributions for 10 years, your portfolio reaches approximately $2 million by age 65, supporting an $80,000 per year lifestyle. Financial independence at conventional retirement age from a solid but not exceptional base. For a 55-year-old, the strategies that matter most are different from those at 25 or 35. Investment time horizon shortens, which affects appropriate asset allocation. A greater proportion of bonds and stable assets becomes appropriate as the withdrawal phase approaches. Catch-up contributions, where available through your pension or retirement account, should be maximized in these final working years because the tax advantages they provide amplify returns in the critical final decade. Lifestyle planning also becomes concrete at 55 in a way it is not at younger ages. The precise lifestyle you intend to fund in financial independence needs to be clearly defined and honestly costed, because the gap between a $50,000 lifestyle and an $80,000 lifestyle requires a difference of $750,000 in portfolio size. Every lifestyle decision made now directly determines whether the target is reachable in the time available. What all four ages have in common. Regardless of whether you're 25, 35, 45, or 55, the mathematical structure of financial independence is identical. You need 25 times your annual expenses invested in a diversified portfolio, generating long-term returns. You get there by saving the gap between your income and your expenses consistently over time and investing it in assets that compound. You protect it by not withdrawing more than 4% per year once you arrive. The variable that changes with age is not the formula. It is the monthly contribution required and the time available for compounding to work. The younger you start, the more time does the heavy lifting. The older you start, the more money does the heavy lifting. But in every case, the path to financial independence is the same: a target, a monthly commitment, a diversified portfolio, and time. The most important thing you can do today, regardless of your age, is calculate your number. Take your current annual living expenses and multiply by 25. That is your financial independence target. Then calculate your current portfolio. The gap between the two is the mountain you are climbing, and knowing the size of the mountain is the first and most important step toward reaching the top. Work does not have to be the thing that owns your time for the rest of your life. The number that makes it optional exists. It is calculable. It is reachable. And the best time to start building toward it is today. These are some of the financial education I wish I had in my 20s. Boy, would I have so much money saved. But no regrets. It's never too late to start. Click here to watch our video on how to start investing with just $100. Because the journey to financial independence begins with the very first contribution, no matter how small.